black privilege is getting worse by the year. And by worse, I mean they're getting more bold with their schemes and their actions. I do find it pretty funny, though, when you have those interviewers on the street. They go up to a bunch of black people. They're like, you got 100 fish, and 13 of the fish cause half of the problems. What do you do with those 13 fish? Almost every time the black people say get rid of the fish. Black people, you're lucky we don't have the same mentality of you. Otherwise, y'all'd be gone. Black privilege is getting worse.
I love the blacks being like, oh, we're gonna get a race war. If there was a race war, you wouldn't win. Okay. First of all, you might have plenty of guns, but you don't know how to shoot them. You think this is how you shoot guns. You think this is how you shoot a pistol. That's not. I know you saw that in a movie and you thought it looked cool. And you saw your favorite fucking rapper doing that, but that's not how you aim and shoot a gun. The only reason blacks have not exterminated themselves in the hood, because black on black violence is insane and through the roof, is because they're such horrible shots. So you really think you're gonna beat a duck hunter who shoots ducks for a living, for fun, on his free time, and doesn't miss? Really?
By the year.
You know, let's dispel some bullshit, okay? Because you have got to be out your fucking mind. You gotta be out your fucking mind. I have two words for you. Mass shootings. Mass shootings. At any moment, at any given time, at any given day, for whatever reason they feel they need to, a bearded white man or a white man of some kind can pull out his arsenal and unalive an entire fucking mall, an entire school system, an entire fucking movie theater, and you have the nerve to talk about 13% commit all the fucking problems. Are you out of your motherfucking mind? Have you lost what little fucking brain Trump allowed you to keep? Are you fucking with me right now? Are you serious? Are you serious? You cannot be, this is the shit I'm talking about. If we gonna have this 13% blah 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 thing, then I think we all should be sitting at the table. You ready to hear something? Here you go. The most dangerous motherfuckers in America are white men with anger issues. The most dangerous motherfuckers in America are white men with anger issues. Who leads in domestic violence? Armed robbery? Blue-collar theft? White-collar theft? Who is it that keeps arsenals and just can't wait to take some people off the census? Who? Who is it that will literally take their weapons out to dinner like it's their little girlfriend? Who has made owning a weapon the only fucking thing that matters at all? The same fucking people we all have to run in terror of. Oh shit, he's mad and he got him a gun. Let me go over here on the other side. You can't be serious right now. There's no fucking way in hell you can be serious. Really? It is white men. Every time, all the time, 24/7, 365. America cannot progress any further than it is because some white men can't keep the fuck up. And y'all cross every goddamn demographic. Every demographic. Even gay white men. There, I said it. I said it. I ain't regretting it. Ain't taking it back either. Our foreign policy shaped by white men. Our interactions around the world shaped by white men. Every time we have, hey, look, we might be progressing further. Wait a minute, white men don't feel good. Let me go back over here. Who is it that continually votes against their own best interests? A white women, white children, white elderly, white gays, white days. You are a detriment to blacks and browns and Native and Indigenous and Asian and Pacific Islander and Jews. Y'all are a detriment, a danger. You want to have this conversation? Then let's have it. Let's have it. The biggest threats in America are men that look like you. Who never holds up their end of the bargain? Who is it that will center themselves in every fucking thing? Who is it that is freely, they will freely be racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, transphobic, and ableist. But the moment somebody talks about them, all of a sudden they start crying and shit. Who is it? White men. You own every goddamn thing. You've been in power since the founding of the fucking republic, and you still can't stop bitching. How many towns, how many black towns no longer exist because of white men? A white woman got Emmett Till killed, but it was two white men that did it and bragged about it. Who is it that routinely wants to go back to Father Knows Best, featuring white men? Who is it that elected that jackass twice? Who is the overwhelming majority of people that elected that fucking jackass twice? The same detrimental motherfuckers that always seem to want to have their shit centered. Center me! White men. White men. Always, every time, all the time. So you want to go there? Then let's go there. I got a picture for you. Sitting here talking shit. While you over here talking shit, make sure you remember, we're not the ones that everything has to be catered to. Show ignorant ass, thin-skinned motherfucker.
Black privilege is getting worse by the year.
I've been saying it for the dawn of time. Idaho has some pretty screwed up men. I'm going to say some things that are algorithm friendly. So you got to read between the lines. This guy is poorly educated. Why? Because most of Idaho is poorly educated. The schools are underfunded. Like what is Idaho is ranked 36 in education. It's not the worst. It's not the best. Idaho also barely has any diversity. Anyone that is not white, and it kind of shows. It definitely shows. I lived in northern Idaho. This guy's looks like a copycat rendering of the men that I would make sure that I put my hand over a woman's drink if he was around. Let's just say that. They're not the smartest. They're not the most secure. They definitely show that they have a special hood in their closet that's pointy, that has eyes. Super uneducated, living in a bubble, doesn't know exactly what he's talking about. Doesn't, because all he watches is Fox News, and he thinks that the one half black person that's the only black person around in like a 30-mile radius excuses him from saying the most audacious stuff. Usually I would filter this thing with like so many words, but I want to try to get this out there. This is a prime example of why I absolutely threw myself at, the chance of moving out of Idaho. I hated Idaho. I lived there for 13 years in northern Idaho, and that place is nothing but an echo chamber filled with men that just look like me, but are that wear a red hat. That's all what they are. I mean, they also have white hoods and white white hoods and white robes. Like, guys, this is like, he's either doing satire or rage bait. But the fact that he's from Idaho, I know exactly what he's like. I've dealt with that many times. I've gotten in fights, physical fights, and with like verbal fights with those kind of men. So, I mean, do what you will with that account. I'll probably laugh at him. I don't know what you want to do, but guys, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You want to know a prime example of a deplorable? There you go.
So another question that I get as an ex-Trump supporter, ex-conservative, is, Danny, what made you change? And I wish I could say that there was this burning bush moment or this aha moment, but in reality, it was a culmination of things, seeds that were planted, and then finally it just clicked. I would need to write a whole book to explain my life's journey, but for the sake of time in this video, I'll do a quick synopsis. So I went from college to professional baseball to 10 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. And while in prison, I met a man by the name of Rashawn Clark. Rashawn was 16 when he was sentenced to prison for 20 years. I, on the other hand, had been to prison, home, back to prison for a total of 14 felonies and a total sentence of 10 years. Now, Rashawn was a black Muslim and I was a white Christian conservative. And this was at the height of the Black Lives Matters movement and when Trump was campaigning for president. And in typical conservative fashion, I would run around telling all the black guys in prison that Trump would be the best thing for them, that Trump is the best thing for the black community. And I would be met with resistance. Trump doesn't care about us. Trump does not care about the black community. He's a self-serving billionaire who cares about no one but himself. And I would tell Rashawn that we can't blame anybody but ourselves for why we are in prison. These are the consequences to our actions. Stop being the victim and accept accountability for our choices. And what Rashawn said next was probably the first seed that was planted that ultimately started me on this journey. He said, when you got sentenced to prison, the judge looked at you as the all-American boy who just lost his way, needed some mental health and substance abuse help, but they seen you as being redeemable. He said, I, on the other hand, at the age of 16, was sentenced to 20 years. They looked at me as a thug, a savage, a predator, and my life was not worthy of redemption. In spite of the Department of Justice, juvenile justice, recommending that he get a program, they sentenced him to 20 years in prison instead as a juvenile. And Rashawn would always say to me, DC, you underestimate me. And he was right. Because in my arrogance, I looked at myself as the smartest person in the room. I'm in prison, I'm college educated. Most of these people in here don't even have a GED. So Rashawn recommended that I read Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness. And after I read it, a light bulb went off, my life was forever changed, and that's what started me on this movement. And this is what I learned, and I saw it with my own two eyes. So in the United States of America, the 13th Amendment said the abolishment of slavery except when punishment for a crime. Before this time period, the only people that went to prison were white vagabonds, outcasts, poor white people. But slave labor was such an integral part of the Southern economy that without it, the economy would collapse. So they needed new slave labor. That's why they started the mass incarceration prison boom. Fast forward 100 years, you had Jim Crow segregation, where black people were relegated to second-class citizenship. They were still seen as subhuman. Black Americans faced disenfranchisement from voting. They had to pay a poll tax. They had to pass literacy exams, but nobody wanted to educate them. And they were robbed of their generational wealth. Black Americans also faced barriers to education, to employment, and to housing. They could literally be discriminated against based on their skin color, based on their race. Then we passed the 1964 Civil Rights Act, 1965 Voting Rights Act, which says we can no longer discriminate based on skin color or based on race. So in 2024, what's the only group of people that we can still legally discriminate against? That we can deny housing, that we can deny jobs, that we can deny access to education? If you answered correctly, it's convicted felons. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that 1 in 3 black males carry a convicted felon label? 1 in 6 Latino males and 1 in 17 white males. So either I think it's a coincidence or I think black people are inherently evil with the proclivity to commit crime. And I couldn't go for that. So I did more research and I found out that Nixon and Reagan created the war on drugs. I see that we created the school to prison pipeline. We defunded education while militarizing the police, which patrols predominantly the black community. Then we coined terms like super predator and black on black crime. And once again, right here in the United States of America, we were spinning a narrative that made black Americans seem subhuman. And in my humble opinion, our criminal justice system is the epicenter of systemic racism in the US. It's because it's where we can just label somebody a criminal and justify our inhumanity towards that person. And as Rashawn said, there's a two-tiered justice system in America, and we're seeing it now more than ever. One for wealthy white billionaires like Trump, who can walk the streets with 34 felony convictions, while being liable for an essay of E. Jean Carroll. And then there's one for people like Rashawn, who spent 20 years of his life behind that fence. But it's impossible to get to this level of understanding without actually putting in the work. And this is why I encourage so many white Americans to actually just do the work. This country is not going backwards. We are not going back. It's only forward from here. I live in an ultra-conservative, Trump-loving MAGA community. And I talk about white privilege in our community a lot. And a lot of times I get pushback. People are like, well, I grew up poor. How do I have privilege? I come from a working class family. How do I have more of an advantage than other demographics of people? Well, I'm going to give you an example of another way that it's manifested, in which I used as a learning opportunity. So one of my close friends has a son who is, young, 16, and just started driving. Well, he gets in-school suspension. He's supposed to be in school suspension, but instead he skips out. He gets pulled over while he's driving for doing some pretty reckless stuff that sometimes many kids do, but could get somebody hurt or even himself hurt, or in this situation, pulled over. They were throwing firecracker poppers out the window. Cop sees him, pulls him over. Well, when the cop pulls him over, he happens to know his dad, which is also my good friend. Now, rather than ticketing the kid or taking him to jail for, reckless endangerment, he calls my friend, who is his dad, and tells him exactly what his son is doing. Lets the kid off with a warning. My friend disciplines him at home. But this is what I told him about privilege and how connections matter. Representation matters. Now, when that police officer pulled your son over, he knew your son. He also seen his own son in your son. And he knew that getting him in trouble, ticketing him, taking him to jail could do irreversible harm to his life, which is good. It's a teachable moment. But the reality is that the vast majority of white people in my community are more likely to know cops, politicians, people in positions of authority or power, whereas many of the other marginalized kids may not have that same representation and get the same grace. They get pulled over and they may be seen as inherently evil or criminal, and they very well could have an entirely different outcome. Now, I know these are hypotheticals, but what if it was a young black kid who's scared of that cop? And while he's scared, he chooses not to talk to him or speaks to him in a manner in which that cop deems disrespectful. He may not get that same outcome. And this is just a reality of how privilege can show up in our lives. And it has nothing to do with how much or how little money that you have. And again, I don't believe in evening the scoreboard. I don't believe in giving the white kids harsher penalties now because of this. Just recognize it and do better.
So guys, for some of you, or suppose most of you, it is the first time you're hearing about black privilege. And I have been hearing this word being used carelessly around, and what these people actually mean when they're talking about black privilege is let me give an example to make it sound a little bit more easy for people to understand. Now, you see how we talk about inclusivity, and then when you're, for example, at a workstation and you see these people hiring people, and then they keep saying being black or being disabled is an added advantage. You are encouraged to apply. That is exactly how they say it. You're encouraged to apply if you're a woman, if you're black, if you're disabled. Yeah, because most of the time, these people are not doing this because they really care to have black people there, yeah, or disabled people there. They're not actually trying to do that. All they're trying to do is to make up for the things that they have done that were wrong to black people, to people that have, been looked at as less in the society. Now, white people have done a lot of things, bad things to black people. You cannot count them. You cannot even, make sense of some of those things. For them to now come out and talk about they're feeling jealous of these positions that are specifically given to black people for inclusivity, that is, that just goes to show you the kind of people that we're dealing with, the kind of people that we're talking about. They are evil at heart, just born evil at heart, because they do not look at the context. These people are being given this opportunity, but do you know the background? Do you know why they're being given that opportunity to work for that place? For example, if it's media, any media company would want to have a black person, because they know that if they have that representation, then the black people will feel comfortable enough to watch that TV station or whatever, if it's a radio or, even sometimes YouTube, yeah, they will feel more comfortable because they know that this is a place where black people are recognized, black people are accepted, and if our own is happy working there and has been given an opportunity, and sometimes a big opportunity, heading sometimes some of these institutions, then they feel more comfortable to even associate themselves with that. Now that is what white people are being jealous about, those kind of things, and now they're calling them the black privilege. It's a shame that they can even compare white privilege and something as minor as this. Because when we are usually talking about a white privilege, we're not talking about merely small, small things. We're talking about their whole entire lives, being catered for, that the system is the whole of the system, whether it's school, whether it's career, every system, medical, it is designed in such a way that their interests come first. That these white people, whatever they want in life is achievable, is possible. Yeah. And the system is designed to make that happen for them more often than not. Now, for them to look at some of these small, small things, for example, what I've just explained, and talk about that being black privilege, that is malicious of them, that is being very unkind and being very senseless, because these people are doing that because of every bad thing that they have done to black people in the past. They have discriminated these people, and black people have complained about it for a very long time. Now, this is them compensating for the things they have done in the past, which we do not even want to go there, because the things that white people have done that are wrong to black people, you do not want to even have a discussion on that, because it's a lot of things, yeah, a lot, so much so that this kind of thing they're calling black privilege is not even going to solve half of it. Every single thing they have done to black people, giving them a few opportunities here and there, by virtue of just, trying to show the world that they are inclusive, it does not cater for everything that black people have had to endure to get to where they are. Now, for them to come out and complain boldly, make videos of it, they're almost crying on camera because they think black people are having it easy, black people are being, having these advantages that they don't. And you wonder, your system is made to favor you in every sense. Now, if you're not working hard enough so that the system can absorb you, then you come out here to complain that black people are actually getting the opportunities. You lack sense, because I do not understand a white person failing at life. I do not understand how. I do not understand how you get yourself there, because you have a whole system designed to make you succeed, to make you win. Yeah. In other words, the system is designed to make black people never to succeed. When you see a black person succeeding at anything, they have had to go through lots and lots of hurdles. They have had to beat lots and lots of odds that if they were exposed to white people, just half of those hurdles, they would never make it. They would, 100% of them will never make it, because what black people have to prove, they have to compensate for a lot of things, because these people are, one, looking at you as though you are, you're black. So it almost means that you cannot succeed at anything. You're not teachable. There's all these things and notions out there, so you are having to keep proving yourself. So if a white person is giving their academics or at the job place or job market, if they're giving 10%, you as a black person are going to give about 90% for you to qualify. Yeah, that is how bad it is. They only have to give 10%, and most of them are not actually achieving that. Now, black people are having to do 90% of what white people are doing, and most black people are doing it. Now, that goes to show you something, that black people have this brilliance that is, unexplained. White people are unable to understand it. They're unable to swallow that. They do not, they have not been taught to accept defeat, and especially when it's coming from black people. Their white privilege, white supremacy has taught them that they will always be above, on top of the game. Compared to black people, they will always top, they will always be the best. Now, for them to be met with this sad reality that there are black people that actually can outsmart them and do it pretty good, it is unsettling for them, it's uncomfortable, they are unable to live with that fact. That's why you're seeing some of these people coming out making videos and talking about black people being privileged. Like, sounds crazy for you to even say, because we all know what black people have had to endure and are still enduring right now. They go through a lot for them to become anything at all. And for you to come out and talk about them being in an advantaged position, it sounds crazy. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section. Uh, New people on the channel, if you have never seen me, if you've never been on this channel before, my name is Furaha, and I'm so glad to have you on my channel today. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. Kindly consider subscribing to my channel, be part of this amazing family. Returning subscribers, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. And every day I ask you to subscribe, and I actually see you guys subscribing. Thank you so much for that mad support. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate each and every one of you that has subscribed or watched my channel or shared to friends and family, like-minded people. It means a lot to me and for the growth of the channel. So I hope that you're also keeping safe, guys. It's some hard times economically, emotionally, mentally. It's draining, but I hope that you're keeping yourself in check and making sure that everything is running smooth. So, guys, I will see you on my next video. Bye for now.